Incoming call from Cajun Country Clunkers. Do you wish to answer? Oh, hey, y'all answered that call a lot faster than I thought y'all were going to.
How y'all doing today? Good? That's great to hear. I'm glad you stopped by to see what we had going on today.
And what we got going on is our 1990 step-side Chevrolet. So y'all don't hang up this call, because you'll miss all the fun.
Hey y'all, welcome back to Cajun Country Clunkers. I'm Jim.
And I'm Lydia, and we are fixing the South one clunker at a time.
Well, today marks the day that we kick off our new project, the 1990 Chevrolet Silverado step bed. And this particular truck we've labeled as Frankenstein.
I think Frankenstein's a little bit long, so I think we're just going to go with Frankie.
Well, why do we call it Frankenstein?
We're going to go into all the details throughout this video on how we ended up with this truck. But one thing that we have learned throughout this process is this truck is made up of all sorts of parts and pieces, all sorts of colors, and fixing to show y'all that. Now, y'all, we have a lot of different clunkers around here that need to be showcased, need to be rebuilt, and have a lot of work to get done. But the reason that we picked this truck in particular, because we got invited to the Route 66 International Car Show located in Springfield, Illinois. So we're going to be attending that, and we can't show up in something that we didn't build. Now, is this going to be show grade? I don't know. That's a good question for Jim later on. Are we going to be entering it in the car show contest? Not really sure about that, but we are going to be riding it in the parade, bringing some Cajun country spirit with us along the way, and we're going to be making the long haul over 900 miles up in this truck that we built. So we're super excited to get this done and get it done right.
Now, from afar, old Frankie looks like a pretty decent looking machine. He looks like he's decently put together enough to travel up and down the road. But in all reality, Frankie has problems from bumper to bumper. There literally is almost everything. I don't know why we do this, but we should probably start out with a better specimen. But we find these things, we get attached to them. Oh well, the work's worth it. But old Frankie here, he has got parts and pieces from all different types of trucks. Now, how do we know, you might ask? Come follow along. Now, if you look at the door jambs and the firewall, it came from a blue truck. So, digging into it, Frankie started out as a blue truck. Here's a maroon door, okay? If you come back here to the bed, man, look how far off that door is. We'll put it on the list. But the bed looked like it was a bright red because we have chips of this paint missing. And if you look on the inside of that side of the bed, it's actually maroon. So I don't know if it was painted bright red over maroon. We found several different colors. So y'all's guess is as good as ours. We have a few rust holes. The bottom quarter right here, the back is completely busted out. That'd require a lot of fiberglass work to get that fixed. And whoever did the body work to this truck at one point in time, no pun intended, no darts thrown, because I would have probably done the same thing. But they did not spare the Bondo. It looks like there's a huge indentation here and a couple other places, and you can actually see where the Bondo is breaking completely out of the bodywork right here. So these are all things that's definitely going to have to be addressed, because you can't be rolling up at a car show and, you know. So over here on the passenger side, I think this is I believe that this is the same door that came with the truck, or at least it's the same color. Because when you get the jambs open on it, it matches the paint as the rest of the truck and the cab and the firewall, so forth and so on. Check out that glove box lid. It's kind of like that old Dolly Parton song, Coat of Many Colors. And the closer you get to looking at old Frankie, all of the body lines, I'm talking about just about all of them, they're all out of kilter. This bumper is facing the ground. It looks like, hey, it's excited to see us, until you look at it and it really isn't. Which tells me that old Frankie's hit just about everything but the lottery. Now, for everybody that's watching right now, and you're kind of confused because we said it's a 1990, this is a 95 or newer grill, we know it, but it's not period correct. This is just a cheap plastic that somebody bought and stuck on here, along with these lights that are, you know, fairly low mileage. But this is something that we want to address, and I actually like the newer body style grills. So Lydia and I haven't talked about it. We don't really know what option that we're going to actually put in as far as the grill goes. All this does have to be replaced, but there's so many options out there. I even like the GMC grills, the billeted style. What do y'all like? Do y'all like the more billet style, or do y'all like the more period correct look? I'm curious to know. Drop down the comments and let us know.
Looking down the side of this truck as well, y'all, the body mounts are worn as well until we got one elevation here for the bed, one here for the cab, and then we dip down just a little bit lower for the door. So we need to get all that lined up straight, and that might be a little bit of cosmetic stuff, but it really does make or break the look of the truck. Now, not only are there cosmetics wrong with this truck, but fix and show y'all the motor.
Well, we have some more of the coat of many colors going on here. We have maroon up here, blue on the firewall, and I think that's pretty much it. There is some blue paint on the washer fluid reservoir over there. So I don't know. I'm just confused on what's original and what's not. I guess it really doesn't matter at this point. Now, when we first got this truck a couple years ago, we really got excited. Whenever we got it, it did not run the best. It seemed like it really needed a tune-up and it needed some help. But we did find receipts in the glove box showing a rebuild kit, cam bearings, crank bearings, rod bearings, all these things. So we were like, you know what? We're probably going to get a really good deal here because this thing has just been rebuilt. It was like receipts from the year prior. The problem is whoever rebuilt this motor, I think they was kind of guessing at the sizes and all those kind of things, because when you crank it up, it has pretty good oil pressure. After it gets up to temperature, the oil pressure falls on its face, and we all know what happens to the oil when it gets hot. That's what we're looking at. The transmission, the TV cable, because it's a 4L60 and not a 4L60E, it has the TV cable in the shifting mechanism. It was way out of adjustment. The transmission was pretty much smoked. But with a little bit of adjustment, a little, hocus pocus, trans tune, those kind of things, we got it where it would at least shift decent enough to drive. New plugs, distributor cap, rotor, all those kind of things got it to where at least it would run and drive okay-ish. But it's definitely not suitable for a long trip, that is for sure.
And another thing to add to the list is that this is not the right steering shaft. Ask me how I know. And the one that's in the truck right now is just a straight shaft, and the one that comes with the truck has a swivel joint on the top, making it a lot easier to steer.
Why is that such a big deal for you?
Let me enlighten y'all with a little story. Like Jim said, we bought this thing a few years ago, and Jim has always wanted one. Hence us having this truck. Gives him a little project to do, right? So he had made it where he could drive it, and on these little trips, just short little things. So I thought that I could do the same. So I was actually going up to get some feed from our local store, which is probably still about 30, 40 minutes away. And y'all, the steering in this thing was like driving. It felt like I was bouncing off this side, bouncing off this side. I was trying to turn it this way, trying to turn it this way, keep it right in the middle of the road. So I get there and I'm thinking, oh my God, I got to drive all the way back. So I'm on the way back and here we go. Wee-oo, wee-oo. So they pulled me over and the officer came up and they said, hey, how are you doing? Great, how are you? License and registration. Here you go. He said, I just noticed that you were bouncing in between the lines. I said, well, I was staying in them. He said, no, I agree. I was just making sure that you're okay. I said, to be honest with you, my husband got this truck as a project, and I'm pretty sure it doesn't have the right steering shaft in it. And y'all, honestly, he got a kick out of that and said, all right, well, I was just making sure that you were okay. He said, y'all, you aren't breaking a law or nothing. He just said, I just wanted to make sure it's okay because I noticed that you kept going from line to line, and I just let him know that I'll make sure that my husband fixes that. So at least I didn't get a ticket, but so I got a little bit of a sore spot right now for that steering shaft. So whenever we get rid of that one, I'll be the first one to go throw that one in the trash.
Now, in all actuality, Lydia's 100% right. I have really wanted one of these trucks. I've had trucks similar to this in the past, so it's nothing really new, the functions and what have you on this truck. But I don't know what happened, and I don't know if it's like that with y'all, but anytime I get interested into looking for something in particular, some specialized, it doesn't matter what it is, it seems like the price goes up tenfold whenever I start looking for them. I looked all over the place for a project truck. I didn't want one that was completed, that someone else had done all the work to. I just really wanted a nice little grocery go-getter type of situation. And at the time, this was the best that I could find, and I 100% overpaid for it. I gave $4,500 for this truck. I still feel like I need to go have my head examined, but it was complete and it was all there. So it gave us a canvas to start from. Don't think Lydia was too proud of me about that, but you know, it is what it is. Now, like I said with Frankie over there, we're already in it deeper than I really wanted to be to start with. Now it's all about getting it to the finish line, but having the cost control at the forefront at the same time. I'm a firm believer, if you've got deep enough pockets and you've got enough money to replace every part on something to make it super easy and make it work well without having to use your brain, just get on the old .com, hey, head the parts this way. But are we going to do that? Absolutely not. We're going to try to use our little gourds up here. Now, on a project like this, the parts are readily available. That makes it great, makes them easy to get really quick. But when you start adding up little things, I mean the tiniest things like the hood light that's missing from over there. When you raise the hood, the light comes on. The wiper washer reservoir, rats have eaten a hole in it. That has to be replaced. All those things add up to a pretty good total when you get these projects finished. So what did we do? We bought a whole nother truck that has most of the parts that we need for $1,000. Well, it was actually $1,100, but no sense in digging through the weeds. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you didn't tell me that.
What's $100? This old fella here, we've named him Robbie because we're going to rob all the parts that we can off of him.
By the end of this excursion, old Robbie is definitely not going to be able to run. He runs now, though. Shockingly.
He's definitely going to lose some weight. Well, that's a nice change. It's all the same color. Now, unlike Frankie, old Robbie here, he was bought new and retained by the original owner. He was an older gentleman, took really good care of Robbie. He loved this truck, and he kept it on the road for years and years and years. As a matter of fact, this truck has 315,000 miles on it. And right before the obvious accident in the front of this truck that ultimately brought Robbie to his demise, the man just had the transmission completely rebuilt. It's brand new from bell housing to tail housing. He put a brand new set of mirrors on. He put a lot of new parts and pieces into this truck because he liked it. He really loved this truck. He hated to get rid of it, even though it was beat to pieces in the front end. Now, I'm pretty sure old Robbie's previous owner is watching this right now. And in my way of thinking, you know, what better way to let some of this old truck live on is to put it on something that we're going to respect and take care of and make like new again. Disclaimer, I just want to make sure everybody knows Robbie's previous owner is still alive and well. He didn't even get as much as a broken fingernail out of this whole wreck. So he is good, just so everybody knows. Robbie's previous owner, well and good. Now, that's not to say he might not have had a little bit of a broken heart that his truck was torn up.
Now, throughout this process, every single piece that we rob off of Robbie and put on Frankie, I'm going to be documenting. So $1,100 in the hole on parts, I guess is what we can call Robbie. I know that probably breaks his heart back here, but I'm going to be keeping a extremely detailed tally on exactly what we take off of him, how much it's worth on average whenever I look up online how much it is, and how much we are going to be saving and what the difference ends up being if we would have bought these parts new versus robbing them off of Robbie. So throughout this process, I'm going to give you all the current updates, and then at the very end, we'll let you all know exactly what the total was.
Now, first things first, we got to get this whole truck stripped down so we can see what we're working with. We pointed out the things that are obvious, the things that's easy to see, but what I've learned in a few years of doing this kind of stuff is it's the things that you can't see that will scare you. Most of the time, the stuff on the outside, people is kind of lipsticked over to where it doesn't look that bad. But getting this bed off, giving this thing a weight reduction is going to help us be able to inspect everything on here. Lydia's in the process of taking the tail lights out. We're going to get the wiring done. We're going to get the bolts out, get the bed off, and hopefully we're going to be pleasantly surprised by what we find underneath. Everything's going to be in great shape. I just know it.
It stuck some seatbelts in here. Maybe it rattles or something.
Oh,
rattle
goodness.
preventing it.
That's some good shim stock. Look at this pretty red paint that it was at one point in time. Now, that's one thing that we have really noticed about this truck, on the things that we worked on and the things that we haven't, almost none of the nuts and bolts and those kind of items actually match. I'm pretty sure that screw that Lydia's taking out right now came out of a Bun coffee maker or something.
The Bun coffee maker was made where I'm from.
Oh, it was, wasn't it? That's a Springfield, Illinois product.
Do we fully know what we're going to save and what we're going to keep? We just treat everything like we're going to keep it unless it's not worth saving.
Now, I think we're going to treat everything like we're going to keep it until we're completely done with it. Because those lights, they look in fairly good shape. They look fairly new. So does the lights. Well, like I said, we're going to get rid of most of the stuff that we're taking off.
Sorry.
No, those lights look pretty new. So does the tail lights on old Robbie. That must have been one of the parts that the previous owner had replaced. They do look really new.
Don't worry, Gus. You don't have to move. Truck's just going to get jacked up all around you.
Well, they have this truck lowered so much that my full-figured self can't get laid up underneath it. So we're going to give it a little bit of elevation, make it easier to work on, get all this bed disconnected, get these bolts undone. If there's any holding it on there, I'm not sure yet. But this is definitely going to make it easier. You know, used to, I would have put the jack under here, and I would have worked under here all day long with nothing but that jack holding. But through the years, I have just seen so many accidents with these jacks. It is just not worth it to me not to take the extra couple seconds, throw a couple jack stands under it, and just have that additional little bit of security, knowing that if your jack fails, you got something to keep you out of a bind.
Now, I noticed that you said that before, a few years ago, that you would have done it without it. The only thing that's really changed in past years is me being around. So you're just saying that I'm clumsy enough that I would hit it?
Or maybe you're just giving me a gentle nudge in the right direction. But here's a pro tip. If you get under here and you can't get your jack stand quite high enough, you just need a little bit. Now, this only relates to a crock-covered foot. Now, you can look right down here, crock up, crock down. You still need a little bit. Crock up, crock down. Give it a little crock adjustment. Perfect.
I hope I couldn't see up your shorts.
I don't think these are the ones with the torn spots in it.
Now, there's a lot of firsts for me whenever it comes to working on vehicles. I was not raised working on vehicles, but I did do enough research whenever I had my little 86 Ford Ranger that it was easy enough to change the parts on it. So I remember being in high school and changing my own brakes for the first time. And I remember thinking, man, I saved hundreds of dollars doing this. Why don't more people do this? Then I started looking up how detailed everything else was. And at the time, it was not what I wanted to do. So, just like this, I've never used one of these. So this is kind of fun to be able to learn. Oh, it's so close. Now, I don't have Crocs on. Is it still up to regulation? Okay. Are you kidding me?
That last eighth of inch gets you every time. There it went.
All right.
Now, if you look through this hole in the frame, that bolt right there is the one that we got to take loose to take this bed off. There should be 6 of those in total, I believe. And they never did hook up the fuel neck back to the bed, so it should make it really easy for this to come off, or really fast. This is the wiring harness that's attached to the bed to run the tail lights that goes down through the frame. So we can either take the whole wiring harness out of the bed, which ain't that big of a deal, but it's just easier to unplug that one little plug in and take the ground loose. And the ground was just twisted together with this frame wire anyway. So that's probably where we were getting some of the intermittent dimming, like we put the blinkers on when the lights were on. Sometimes it got a little funky. That's probably where it came from right there, that bad ground. These are the trailer wires. Yeah, not bad at all. That should be all of it because the ground strap that goes up to the filler neck for the fuel, it wasn't there anyway. So as far as the wires go, we're ready. We're sitting on go. I do see one of the 6 bolts is missing right here, so I guess that'll speed us up a little bit.
I'm going to guess it's an 11/16.
Looks a little bigger than that. Let me try like a 3/4. Next size down.
Oh, what's the next size down?
I believe 11/16. You're getting too good at this.
Until that one's too big.
That's it.
That's it?
That's it.
She ought to be on there now.
I got it. We may never get it out of there. But okay, so that one's gone. This one's gone. That one's out. That one's out. So we should just have 2 left in the front.
That's slightly concerning that, that it was only being held in by 3 compared to 6.
Just go hold it like that.
Why don't you let me do?
That's okay.
You don't
I
like
got
your
it.
fingers?
There we go. That's what happens when you try to get too fancy with something. That last bolt was kind of a booger to get out. It was crusted up pretty good and hot getting it out of there. So I'm going to make sure that I spray all the rest of them really good. Let them soak in, because the last thing I want is to strip one of them off in that frame. What's up, Gus? You can help me out, bud? You need some of that crisp sparkle motion there. Okay. Okay. Okay.
Gus, come here. Come here.
Okay. And just as I suspected, this one over here that's so hard to get to, they didn't bother putting that one in either.
So only 2 of the 6 that we're in?
Yeah. Yeah, that's plenty. Go ahead. Oh, Lord. They definitely see me coming on this truck. Paying the money that I paid for it, I could at least got all the nuts and bolts, you know?
I'm usually not very gentle with this. Oh.
Look at you go.
I mean, I'm a professional at this.
Practice makes perfect, you know? Went from a lift kit to a lowrider.
Coming to you live from inside the cab. Now, y'all, this is your tractor operator here, and as you can see, we're going to be doing a 4-point lift. I'm currently getting directions right now to spin the wheels a certain way. That little sign right there is to pick up just a hair. Oh, and that's a stop. Do a little bit of evaluation, make sure that Hootis is right where we need it to be. Oh, there's another little up, and a little hold. All right, and just like that, folks, she is walking out of there. I hope that you have enjoyed this tractor ride with us today. Please make sure to check out the vouchers that are going to be behind the seats listed below.
Well, now that we got the truck bed out of the way, we're going to move on to this front contraption we've got going on here. We went ahead and pulled the grill off to get it out of the way, to get some of these fender bolts, front bumper, so forth and so on. As we're taking this thing down, we've already revealed a few little things that we're going to share with you here in just a minute, but it's eye-opening that we really needed to take it down this far instead of just stuffing the motor in it, doing a little paint job, and getting on down the road. Well, this truck came to us in a lot lower stance than factory. I mean, Ray Charles could see that this thing had a lowering kit put on it. Well, the first things we seen when we pulled the front tires off to be able to get the inner fender bolts out was, you know, whoever owned this truck before we did, they took safety very serious. Matter of fact, it had a leather glove zip tied around this brake line to keep it from rubbing. I mean, that's pretty custom. That's custom stuff. I mean, that was using your head.
It's their own Hootis. It's
brake line abrasion resistance Hootis right here.
10 out of 10 don't recommend.
Hey, I guess it did get the job done. You know, in a pinch, we got to do it. I'm not sure I would have done the same thing. Again, no shade thrown. It did work.
Yeah, I don't think you'd stoop that low.
You'd be surprised. Now, keep in mind, there's only 2 U-bolts that hold this rear end in place on each side. There's a total of 4 nuts on each side, and one of those was missing. And I'm not sure that I would have noticed it. I probably would have when I was doing brakes or something like that. But taking that bed off made it way easier to see. And I mean, this stuck out like a sore thumb. I don't want to be running this truck 80, 85. Hey, don't hold that against me. Down the interstate with only 3 of the 4 nuts holding one side of the rear end in. Now on the other side, they had all 4 nuts. So I guess if you're on the driver's side, you might be in all right shape.
7 for 8's better than 2 for 6. Yeah.
And behind this grill, on this radiator support, if you look down here at the bottom, you can see here where it's been crinkled in. So it has had an impact here on the passenger side at one time too. Don't know what they hit. Might have been a light pole, a curb, something in front of a store. Might have been a store. I don't know, but they hit something. I don't think it is enough to torque the frame because it would have been in front of the steering situation. But we'll find out the further we dig into it.
All right, so getting back to it, Jim's taking the bottom bolt off of the hood. So the next thing to come off is going to be this hood, but we couldn't get the impact in there, so take the bottom ones off by hand. Take the top 2 off, and we'll be able to take it out. You want me to take it almost all the way out, or can you just go ahead and take it all the way out?
Go ahead and take it all the way out.
All right.
There it went.
I see it.
Don't worry about it. We'll find it next year.
All right.
All right.
I got this side.
Okay. Got it?
Got it.
Ooh. Oh, that's a dent.
Oh, I can almost get it. What do you have under here? Can I stand on this side? All right, there we go. Lower.
We don't have but about 40 of them little magnet things that stick, you know, them little extension magnets.
All right, let me screw these back into the hood. That way they don't get lost. It seems like it's easy to do that. The hood holster.
Hood holster? It's just a hinge.
It's a what?
It's a hinge.
I know, but you got to have a specific name for this hinge. What if I'm talking about a different hinge on the car? What if I'm talking about a door hinge?
That's called a
door hinge?
That's a help you lift the hood Hootis. What is that? Is that 13 millimeter?
It is 13, but I don't know if we're going to be able to get the 13 in there.
Oh, no. We got to take this coolant reservoir off anyway, and I think I'll have enough room to reach it after I take this off. Looks like it. And it was empty, by the way. There we go. Get that out of the way. I'm going to try to put as many of these bolts back where they came from right now, instead of throwing them all in a bucket and then trying to figure out where they come from later.
So I probably shouldn't show this bucket that's right in front of you?
Well, I had to have somewhere to put them because I couldn't screw them back in the fender while the fender was still in there, while trying to remove the fender. You know what I mean?
I just won't expose you in your red bucket, I promise.
I'm finding all kinds of little interesting objects. Taking this thing down. That's a lot of mechanic work through the years, because right down here, whenever we pull this radiator support off, there is, I don't know, we might find a gold ring. I see some nuts and bolts and keepers and springs and some kind of stickers. something really shiny down there. I don't know if that's a bottle cap or a piece of glass. All the things. Why didn't we buy a truck that was in a little bit better shape to get started on again?
Why did you buy a truck? You just trying to pull her off?
No, we have 2 more that I know of inside the door jamb, and I think it should go.
What? I'm just trying to learn from the mess.
You need to go somewhere else.
You know, y'all, as I sit here in the video, I wish y'all could just smell what I'm smelling from this interior.
You can smell the age for sure. It is well aged, and it is not a fine wine. Got both of those. If that's it, that fender's ready to come off.
Did you get all of them?
There's one little Phillips right here holding this grate in. But I think that's it for this one anyway.
Well, while you're doing that, if you don't need my help, I can go ahead and open this driver's side and go ahead and undo these 2.
Okay. I cannot believe I got that screw to bite.
Was it stripped?
Bad. But somehow it caught a thread and came on out. All right, I think it's ready.
Do you want me to help you?
I think I can get it.
We can do it his and her style. That's your half of the truck. The other half will be my side of the truck.
Why'd you pick the driver's side? One more. There are so many of them little things hiding everywhere.
Just studying so I can do my side.
Just when you think you got everything. One thing about it, the fenders were not going to fly off. I think I counted so far that's 13 or 14 bolts on this one fender.
You know what? At least the fenders aren't going to fall off. Unlike the back. The entire truck bed.
We got one. Uh-oh. Got some body work to do down there.
I only have the one left. I think it's right here. Is this like a lift and pull situation or just pull straight out?
I think it's kind of like a shimmy and pull. Uh-oh. We got this reservoir right here. Looks like a 10 millimeter. Try that.
You've redeemed yourself from earlier.
Well, we got the wires that kick the pump on.
Oh!
And you got the hose that brings the washer fluid to the wipers.
You should look at the bottom of that whenever you get a chance.
Now, I don't know exactly where they had this truck stored, but apparently they had a rat problem. Look at that. There is gnaw marks all over this thing. Look, I don't know what kind of windshield washer fluid that they was using, but the rats really liked it. Is it coming? Feels like it's got another bolt in it somewhere.
I know. That's what I was thinking.
All right.
That's her.
She should come off there now. Got it? Something's got you down here.
Oh.
Got it?
Yep, duck.
Okay.
Got it.
Heck yeah.
Okay. All right, up next is the inner fender. Kind of like the inner thigh. Ow.
I really wonder about you sometimes.
We have 2 bolts left to take out. Surprisingly, they were all there, but we got them all out besides these 2.
Can see what you're working with now.
I got a magic trick. Can I see that for a second? I need you to set this down. Okay, I need you to stand right here. Okay, let me double check. Make sure that you're the right distance. Okay. Yeah, that'll work. Okay. Now, put your hands like this. That was cool, huh? Come on.
That was a pretty good magic trick. Very fast. Won't you do the rest of the trick like that?
I tried, it didn't work.
We got a pretty good dent knocked in old Frankie. We got the front fenders taken off, the inner fenders, the hood, the bumper, the grill, the bed, and we located all kinds of little trouble areas that we're going to start hammering and banging on before we get into this power plant situation, which is the step that I can't wait for.
The step that I can't wait for is getting the interior changed out. Get that stench out of there.
It's awful. I can't elaborate enough. The smell, whatever you think it smells like, it's worse. I can promise you.
And y'all, before we go, to all of our Thunderbird lovers out there, I've got to show you this. So we got this sent to us. Mr. Cope sent this to us, and it's the actual Thunderbird catalog from 1965.
How cool is that?
And if you go through here, I mean, that's so neat. It's got so many different things in here, and that meant so much for you to send that to us. We're going to be putting this in a place of utmost importance for a while until we can get the Thunderbird up and running, but we really appreciate you sharing this with us. This was so neat to experience and go through and look at. I'm going to put it right back in the bag so I don't get my dirty hands back on it.
So, hey, thank y'all so much for joining us this week. We're super excited about this project. But one of the things that really makes this project exciting to us is we're building this project right now, and we want your input. Whatever it is that you can think of that you think old Frankie would look good with, from the grill to the interior, throw us your suggestions, and who knows, your suggestion just might end up on old Frankie, and you might see us rolling up into the car show, and you can say, you know what, that was my idea.
And if y'all want any more details on that car show, I'm going to be linking it below in the description, as long as other links to some other things that we have going on down there. So y'all make sure to hit that like and subscribe, and we'll see y'all in the next clunker. Bye, y'all.